But yeah, callers, if you want to call in, the number is 416-651-0101. Feel free to call in and speak to our brother who's just become Dr. Irritated Genie.
But that's the sign of respect coming from our people, so I appreciate that.
Love it. So I guess the main thing on all these topics is having the platform and having people have access to the platform so they know the steps to take to get us going forward.
Yes.
And you were speaking on that earlier.
Yes, and also, here's what has happened. Because we have been enslaved by Arabs, Europeans, Asiatics, and these different groups, and they've introduced all these different ideas, whether it's religious, whether it's political.
I'm gonna stop you right there because can you define Asiatics? Because a lot of people don't know.
Okay, when I say Asiatics, you know, the continent of Asia is a huge continent, and the place they call Europe is not really a continent. It's a little corner of Asia where the white folks stay. And then you have Indians, you have Africans who live in India, and then you have Indians who are very racist, who hate the Africans that live in India. And you have these different groups. So when we say Asiatics, we talk about all of these different, whether you have the Chinese or different groups of Asiatics, you have Indians, we have all these different cultures that live in Asia, Arabs that live in Asia. So when we say Asiatics, it's talking about all those different groups.
Yeah, I just wanted you to explain it to the masses because I noticed recently, even within my studies, that it's a term that's used frequently when you start to be put onto this knowledge through your research. So I wanted them to get that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah, please continue.
Yes. We have all of these different, what was that? What am I talking about?
We're talking about all the different resources and way to get the resources.
Oh yes, one of the things we realize is that man, I lost my train of thought. But essentially, what we realize is that I have my back on that we have been enslaved by these different groups, and they've given us ideas, and those ideas keep us disunited because we are not operating as Africans with our own ideas. We're not, look, when you get most black folk together, we like the same kind of music, same kind of food, and all that. We don't start having conflict usually until we bring the name of God up. And usually it's not an African name for God. It's whatever God our enslaver gave us, we bring that up. And if you had a different enslaver than me, now we at war. Or we bring up something political. You like this white party, and I like this white party. Neither one of them is a black party. Neither one of them were created to help black people move forward. But now we're at war with each other. So when we created the Straight Black Pride platform, what we realized is we got to find a way to focus on what we have in common as opposed to what our differences are, because the differences are what were created to make us weak. And what we found that we could find, the only three things that we could find that black people around the world in 2015 have in common and would agree upon. One, this homosexual thing. Our people are just not willing to budge on that, and it doesn't matter where you find us on this planet. In mass, our people will not accept it.
We need to learn to speak out on it too, because most of us don't agree with it, but we won't speak out.
We're the silent majority, but we silent.
I don't know how that happened, because our generation were very into protesting and speaking our minds. So like, where did the disconnect come with our children? Where
we were infiltrated. The leadership in the black community has been infiltrated, and the leaders that have put in place to represent us represent our enemies. So they have been telling us that it is acceptable, and they have been teaching our children that it's acceptable, and they have been putting it on television and saying it's acceptable, and they have been paying the preachers off to get money so that the preachers in the churches are saying it's acceptable. They've been creating multi-billion-dollar industries in the churches, where the T.D. Jakes and the Eddie Longs of the world. So they're promoting it through the individuals that we trust the most. So even though the masses of our people would like somebody to speak out against it, the people who have been appointed by our enemies to represent us don't represent us, and so they won't speak out. So we don't hear what the real majority of our people feel, and we think because we don't hear anybody saying it that it's something wrong to say, not realizing that we just got to get new leadership.
And on that same topic, like with the Bermuda thing, you getting banned after there's evidence of what you did in video, and it's a nice thing, just like you're doing here today. How do we turn something around like that and get you back into the position where you're able to go back to Bermuda?
Well, I can't say everything, but let me just say it like this. it was the best thing that could have possibly happened. Because see, right now, the black people in Bermuda had elected a white government back in. They literally had a black government, and like we do, there was some problems with the black government. And instead of electing a new black government or making them do better, we said, well, let's just put the white folks back in. When the whites got back in power, immediately they started gentrifying the island of Bermuda. Now,
They started what?
gentrifying the island. In other words, the brothers, like for instance, the brothers had all the jobs, packing, trucking, and all that stuff. Now they bring in all these foreigners, and brothers can't get jobs.
Okay.
so literally, they're shutting down all the local schools.
Yeah.
So that now that intimate school where you knew the teacher, you could just walk right to the school. You don't have that no more. Now all the children are going to these mass schools, coming from different neighborhoods, being competitive. Now no learning is happening. They're fighting. Now they got a bunch of killings, gang violence, and all that. They're doing everything to disrupt it. So now brothers and sisters in Bermuda are like, I want to leave the island because things are just getting so crazy. And so it's like, now, and they don't like this homosexual thing. But because they elected this white government, and they know that they did it, and they're still that 1950 type brothers and sisters, they kind of humble. They've been quiet on this white government that's running them off their island. But when this white guy from Canada, he's a Canadian, in Bermuda, banned me, and the people saw the information, and they loved it what they got. Now the people in Bermuda are irate, not just about what they did to me, but the things they were already upset about. But now they're taking a voice and doing something. So it's the best thing that could happen. Don't worry, by next year I'm gonna be back in Bermuda.
That's good to hear. And the reason I brought it up because they've been doing that to, let's say, reggae artists that are speaking of gay stuff and may have put it in a song. But they don't understand the culture, because even us, we clash. They
understand the culture.
Okay, yeah, well, they do better than our people who
That's right.
support them. I understand the culture. That's what I mean. Because we've been, for instance, in reggae, we have clash. It's a way we build our skill when we battle lyrically. But everybody knows that it's just lyrically. So when we speak of gay being wrong, metaphorically, they're taking it literal and using it as a weapon to stop them from traveling to make a means of living. Which is why I was asking you about you being banned, because it's something that happens all too often in Jamaica and to artists and trying to make a living.
This is the thing we don't realize. For the first time in 100 years, black people have an issue that if we just got up and stood on, could actually pull our people out of this condition. Look, you got Queen Africa, who they uninvited from America. You got Sizzler and all these other Buju Banton, who they railroaded and put in prison for it. This is the thing. If instead of dealing with it in an isolated situation, if people say, look, we got a straight black pride platform, then we say, if you can't get 1,000 people in Canada because they're banning you, fine. We'll bring you into Zimbabwe and get you 1 million people as an audience. So in one concert, and then you can say whatever you want to say about homosexuality. In other words, let's use the power we have, and you can do one concert and make 10 times the money that you would have made in the smaller ones you were doing around the world. Why don't we take this, and instead of asking the whites to capitulate, use it as an ability to bring the money to us? Okay, well, if we can't do the concert, look, if you're in Canada and you want to bring them here, and you say, we want to bring these artists here, but that's not working. Well, guess what? Then let's not bring them here. Let's call an African country. We know that our brother, His Excellency Yahya Jammeh in the Gambia, is completely against it.
I watched that last night. It was beautiful.
So
he was knowledgeable. He was very
articulate,
classy and articulate. I loved it.
But he didn't budge.
How do we get that information out? Because people don't have it.
But look,
I did love it. It made me feel good. I was watching this about 2-3 o'clock in the night, and I'd be like, yeah, it was good. And if we get it out there, people will catch on.
Now, can I show you, before I show you what our agenda is going to be, can I just give you some good news and show you how there are people in the African world who get it, who are in power, who fighting? This is our brother Yahya Jammeh. They trying to push it on his country. Let's see what he got to say.
That although you have a program and agenda, your people are not truly free. They can't criticize you publicly. They can't run their own media. You still believe in the death penalty. If one is a homosexual, they have to flee the country. And they say that tarnishes your record. What do you say?
I don't care what they say. Africans have never been homosexual. You have never seen homosexual frogs. I have cattle, I've never seen homosexual gay cattle. And homosexuality is detrimental to human existence. It's un-African, it's unethical, it's ungodly. Go to the Bible and the Quran. We are Muslims, and we believe in the Almighty Allah and what He says. Whatever Allah says is haram, we will make sure it's haram to the letter. I don't care what they feel about me. I didn't introduce the death penalty here. I found it here. And the British brought the death penalty to the Gambia. Before colonialism, there was no death penalty in Africa. Don't you know that? Go to history.
But it's also said it is also said, Mr. President, that it was the colonials who brought in the laws against homosexuality into Africa, and Africans have maintained and kept those laws. So to be truly African would be to remove those laws forbidding homosexuality and to remove the death penalty.
Are you attributing that homosexuality is African?
There are some Africans who say so.
Yeah. Now, in the slave trade, doesn't Africans get capture people in the bush? So those are the same type of Africans that we still have that they use against us. So I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, but homosexuality is un-African. And let me also make it very clear. Even if the whole world accepts it, Jammeh will not accept it in the Gambia. Let them go and tell me whatever they want.
Americans made the trek to halfway tree in St. Andrew in their numbers on Sunday evening to send their loudest message to the authorities as well as the gay and lesbian community.
We want all to know, near and far, here and overseas, that Jamaica will not bow. Jamaica will not bow to illogical ideas that will only further destroy the family life that we now have.
It was a rallying cry for Jamaicans to reject homosexual lifestyles.
We equally reject attempts to prescribe new rights that are contrary to our values, norms, traditions, and beliefs. We are not gays. Cooperation and respect for each other will advance the cause of human rights worldwide. Confrontation, vilification, and double standards will not.
Let's do it! We're black! We're black! We're straight! 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 We're black! We're black! All right! We're straight! Come on! We're black! We're proud! We're straight! We're black! We're proud! We're straight! Come on! We're black! We're proud! We're straight! We're black! We're proud! We're straight!
And that's a black man, right? I mean, jet black in skin and spirit. Said we not going to tolerate it. In fact, the U.S. said, well, we're going to do all kind of sanctions and we're going to pull it. He said, we'll eat grass. He said, but we're not going to go into your homosexuality. He tried to overthrow his nation. So let's get into the agenda, because how many people would agree this is a crisis situation? Not a all right. So we got an island full of African people that say we're ready to go.
Imagine this. It's not hard. He as a nation, he has the ability to rubber stamp and say, yes, we want Queen Africa, Sizzler, and we want them to do music about this homosexual agenda. And we're going to give them a big payday. They can rent out a stadium in Gambia, and all the Gambians would come because this is the issue that our people about. They can make more money in that one concert than they make doing 10 of them around North America. And guess what will happen? Once we started doing it, the money that we spend at the white facilities here in Americas, we would start taking our own culture and fighting our own battle on our own turf where we have full rights to do it, and we would be bringing money to the brothers and sisters in Gambia who will be making the food for it and the vendors. We would be supporting our own economic development and fighting for something that we believe in.
What can we do to start pooling some of that money that's made off of these concerts and stuff that we do in the future so that it goes into the right direction to build the stuff we need? And what would you say, do you think we need to build first and foremost? Is schools, is it hospitals?
Honestly, the schools are absolutely critical. The reason why is it, but it's not just a school. We have schools already. Yeah. We need to build African-centered schools. And what does African-centered mean? It does not mean you sit around all day and teach about ancient Africa. Sure, our children will be built up with a strong sense of our history and culture. Yeah. But it means We have the most resource-rich place in the planet. We need children that are taught in their school system how we are going to rule the world by the end of the 21st century. I'm going to say it again. We need schools that says, you're in a place where agriculture is rich. You're not just going to be learning ABCs. You're going to know how to do mass agriculture so that you can feed everybody in this country, and other people around the world that need food can pay you to get the food because you know how to enrich the land. We need scientific. Right now, the biggest industry in Africa is electronics. Most of their financial transactions are not done in banks. Over 70% of them in Africa are done on the telephone. We've got to say, look, in order to make a cell phone, you got to have the stuff out of the Congo. We have to take control of the Congo and the resource base here. And our children need to understand that they are in the 21st, we're at the end of the 21st century. The rest of the world is going to be on their knees begging to have a relationship with us to get to the resources, because Africa is going to be the gold mine of the planet, and we're going to be walking on gold, and we're going to be militarily protected to be able to defend our interests.
That was my next question that I was going to bring up. What are we going to do to protect our leaders like you and all the other rest that might be coming up in the future from suffering the fate that many leaders have suffered?
I'll say this.
I do believe that we need to protect ourselves just like anyone else.
I'll say this. I understand, when I got into this, that in our condition today, I can go at any time because they have access to get me, and we don't have that kind of support at the moment. But when we talk about schooling, I would not even begin to do a school. I'm going to tell you right now, any school that we start, Straight Black Pride, from the day one, self-defense is going to be, you're going to learn to fight. And that means whatever kind of kung fu or martial arts and all that, but you're also going to learn military. My child, I have a 2-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. We said when she gets 5 years old, we take him to the range. My son will watch until he gets 5. Our children are going to learn to shoot.
I'm not going to cut you because that's a nice idea. When you build a school and you planning to teach them military stuff and kung fu and all that, what do we do when the white media starts saying, oh, they're not only terrorists is the new word, but what do they used to call it?
Militant?
Yeah, like a militant group organizing to do this, and they stir the public opinion into something that it's not, saying that we need to shut them down and come in and take, what do we do to protect ourselves?
What you just said is beautiful. This is what I want people to understand. I want our people to start thinking.
Because that's why people don't want to.
Absolutely.
Because they're scared. Right. When we get there, what do we do?
This is what black people got to realize. We are in the best situation to fight that we've ever been. They have media, but through that thing right there, now,
the internet.
Look, brother, I'm here talking to you. Why is it that everybody that's listening to this gets this thing? No white guys are going to sit here and do this, but you're here. You are media. So what it means is, since we know that that's going to happen, before they even come, we need to have our media on and saying, look at what our children are learning. This is great. And we tell it the way we want. Matter of fact, since terrorism is the word of the day, you know what we say? Since we know that we're facing terrorism, we have to make sure that our children are capable of defending themselves against any terrorist threat. So we're teaching the children at a very young age to defend against terrorism. So the same black person that hears that before the white, hey, yeah, we should teach our children to be. It's just a matter of how you slice it and how you say it.
It's great. But we also need the platform, right, to get it started.
Yes.
And some of these are ideas I'm putting in your head because I know you're a guy working on it, and if you're not working on it, you probably know somebody that's working on it. So it's stuff to make note and maybe implement later as well. Because these are the things that come up when we're talking as a people in our areas, in our neighborhoods, and so on. And those are the things that stop people, right? Because frankly, nowadays, more than ever, like I said, in our time, we weren't so much scared to die for it, as long as those are righteous cause, but nowadays, people are afraid. They just rather live the slavery in their house and work every day until they die, because they're not being hurt, you know?
You know why? Because of the examples they get. All they get is examples of cowards. Our people are very rhythmic. What we see, we feel the rhythm of it, and we can emulate it. All we see is cowards every day. When our people can see you, as soon as I walked in, I said, this is an intelligent brother. I get just the way you present yourself.
I've been working on it.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the whole facility. I got the real brothers here, sisters here. These are real black people working and doing here. This is one thing, and it goes to your point. When I first started doing this and realized that how big this thing was and that this is going to be a major issue, and that as long as I'm alive, I'm going to have a platform to fight because they're trying to kill us with this whole thing. The first thing I said when people asked me about media, I said, unless it's an extreme circumstance for some extreme reason, I'm only doing interviews with black people. The reason is this. Not because I don't understand that all media can be powerful to get your message out. But my thing is this. How can we give value to the black person who's in media to stop talking about what the white media can do and realize you have the same resource that they have now? All we have to do is those of us who get in positions of power and people are listening to us. If we tell our people, this is who you should listen to, then our people will stop listening to the white. But we don't do that. We say, oh, the white media is doing it. We got to start doing it, saying, why are you listening to that? You know they tell lies. And then just show our people that they lie and say, here is the place that is good. But what's important, and it goes to what you were talking about earlier, and which is why I'm really enjoying this environment. And if you listen to any of my interviews, you'll notice I don't give compliments where they're not due. I really like what I'm seeing because of this. It's one thing.
Natural room.
Yeah, the natural room. It's something very important that I'm seeing here. Professionalism, and our people don't get it. If you do something and it looks sloppy and it's not right, then what happens is that our people don't believe it can win. Like if you get it, like you see our cards here,
Yeah.
but this is just not.
Our method. This card is gold leaf. It's very, very nice. Very, very nice.
But if you go onto our War on the Horizon website, you'll see it. But any of our DVD covers, what we realize is if we are going to convince black people that we can compete with whites on every level, then everything we do has got to compete with them. From the clothes we wear, to the way we speak, to how we address each other, to how confident we are, to how our products look, to the quality of them. Everything we do has got to be competitive.
Taking the time to get it right.
Gotta get it right.
We rush. We want to be out there. We want to make that money. We want to get that fame, and we rush it. You know, when we can take another month or so and get it to that level
Get
where
it
it's
right.
right.
That's right.
Man, I'm loving this conversation, and I'm glad you're here, my brother.
Yes.
I want people to go on the website, War on the Horizon,
Yes, sir.
and check out the Irritated Genie. There's a lot of knowledge to be learned, and people have to take the time to learn it. Turn off the TV, stop listening to those radio stations you was mentioning earlier, and we all listen to them coming up, but even nowadays, people know, like, it's boring. All those other radio stations, they're boring because they run rotation and it's the same songs all day.
That's right.
You listen to Rootz Reggae Radio, we have new music all the time, and I'm not just saying that because I'm here. But when you look to the truth, new music all the time from all different artists all over the world, all types of guest speakers, world-class artists, world-class guest speakers. Give the smaller stations a chance, and we'll give you what we want, what you want. In the end, speaking with the Irritated Genie, and for those people that are out there that want to call in and ask them a question, the number is 416-651-0101. And we're gonna go into another tune by J Harmony, and this tune speaks on what we're speaking of. It's called No Giving Up, and it's the album single, which you can purchase on iTunes and all digital form of media. Joining us in the natural room with the Irritated Genie, and we've been having a nice discussion here and getting people's minds straight.
Absolutely.
Straight Black Pride.
Yes, sir.
Now to continue the war on the horizon, you've been getting a lot of bad media out there, and I want to talk about it because I need to set people straight who might have read it or might have seen that online somewhere or whatever, because the person that I've read about is far different from the person that I'm speaking with and seeing today.
Yes, sir.
So, I was reading a website and they were talking a lot of hate about you, and one of the comments on the website, one of the guys were making, I found it interesting, the point that he brought up. He's saying that you're getting a lot of bad media, and some of the comments in the media on the websites are bad, saying that, oh, he hates gays, he's so on and so forth. But he made a good point saying that there's thousands and thousands of white supremacy groups out there, and you never see them on the media, you never see them on television, you never see them saying, oh, these groups are bad, but yet they're picking on you. There's no other way around it, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, you know what? The way I look at it is, you know, I got a long way to go, because if you look at the time of Nat Turner, there wasn't anybody talking any positive things about Nat Turner. If you look at our sister Harriet Tubman, all she was doing was trying to liberate our people from enslavement, and she was on the most wanted list. She was the most wanted person in America, looked at as a criminal. So, from my perspective, if you're a black leader and you're representing the interests of African people and black people, and white folks don't hate you and have negative stuff to say about you, you must not be doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? So I got a long way to go, to really be hated the way my ancestors were to try to help black people. But in short, it's really simple. Whites have built a world off of the oppression of black people. Any black person who they believe is effective in fighting that, they're going to call you the worst thing, every negative thing they can possibly muster up. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're an intelligent black person, those are the people that you should investigate. When you hear white folks don't like them, that should be a sign to you that you need to check out that person to find out what that person is talking about, because that person, in all likelihood, if white folks don't like him, probably has something good to say about you as a black person.
Yeah, and us as a people, we need to share websites like War on the Horizon on our social media and stop putting 90% of that junk that you wake up every day and put on your website that people really don't care about.
That's right.
Spread the message. That's how we're gonna elevate as a people. Put the proper stuff on your webpage, even if it's 1 or 2 posts. Like, people post hundreds of things a day, and 90% of those posts are garbage.
Yes, sir.
Spread the message. War on the Horizon. Now, I want you to remind the viewers of where you're gonna be today before we go to this caller.
Okay, we coming to our caller here. We're going to be at 5 p.m. today. We're going to be at Sankofa Restaurant and Bar, 1653 Eglinton West, Toronto, Canada. Again, that's Sankofa Restaurant and Bar, 1653 Eglinton West at 5 p.m. sharp. We look to see you there. We're going to be talking about Mind Your Black Business.
Nice. And caller, are you there?
Peace, peace. How you doing, Orlando?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. This is Brother Kofi.
Oh, nice.
What's the deal? You good?
Hey, man, I'm here in the natural room, so you know it's tight.
Oh yeah. We stand on the shoulders of the ancestors, so we got a lot of energy. We're enthused. We're happy. We're just so thankful for the opportunity that you've given us on the Rootz Reggae show to, voice our opinions, some of these very critical issues that we're dealing with. My name is Kofi, by the way.
Nice.
All you have known me as, Kofi, the original Kofi. Because when I was growing up in the 70s, there were no Kofis in Canada. So I'm the original.
Yeah, we've been talking about the root. The root is always important.
Oh yeah. So I've been here for a minute now. But yeah, we represent the GACN, which is the acronym that stands for the Global African Community Network. So what we are, we're basically a liaison. We help, bring organizations, like-minded individuals, businesses, people in the black community, of all walks of life together. So we've been in this work for quite a while, bringing various speakers. We brought Dr. Francis Cresswell, Omar Johnson, the list goes on. We've done a lot of work in this space, so I'm sure a lot of people know about the work we have done. We've been anticipating Brother Irritated Genie for quite a while. We had some issues in the past because of, some of the situations that happened in New York. But lo and behold, he's here, and we look to have him come back again very shortly as we get organized in the city of Toronto in regards to our issues, pertaining to the black community. So it's a work in progress, and we're so glad to have him here. Unfortunately, we have a lot of, divisive behavior. I say all the time, we're not too far removed from the plantation behavior.
I agree.
Even though we say that word, slavery is over. We're still dealing with a very deep social dysfunction in our community. And these types of events are designed to actually help create dialogue so we can build some consensus in the city of Toronto. So again, minding your black business. Okay? That title alone hit me so hard. When people hear that title, they start to laugh and go, that's still, I like that.
I've been loving all his titles. I can tell there's some thought put into it. When you hear them, they hit you in the right spot.
Yeah, man, they grab you, man. So that's Minding Your Black Business. 1653 Eglinton West, Sankofa Bar and Lounge. For all who don't know, Brother African Star, who's the owner, he didn't budge. He didn't flinch. He's like, nobody can call me and tell us nothing. This is our community. This is a conversation among family. Brothers, welcome to come here anytime, and anytime y'all have events that are dealing with issues pertaining to our community, this is your home. So he had no problem with hosting this event today.
Yeah, we appreciate and love him
Yeah, man.
for what he's doing in the community.
Big up to African
That Sankofa is on Eglinton.
Exactly. He says, when they hear the name Sankofa, they know not to come here and try to say anything. This is our place, this is our home. Brother Irritated is more than welcome here. So yes, today, 5 o'clock sharp, try your best to make it out. Though the weather's not too good, but it'll be worthwhile. Believe that, it'll be worthwhile. Like I said, the GACN is an acronym for the Global African Community Network. We put together a website. She's working on it right now. My nephew Kofi Patrick, he's the mind behind that. He's dealing with that from Change Promotion. They're dealing with all the logistics throughout this website, and we'll be able to give you information about War on the Horizon, Dr. Omar's school, the developments leading up with that, just a host of information pertaining to the global African community. So be on the lookout for the GAC website coming soon.
Okay, GAC website. Now in the future,
GACN, the Global African Communities Network. So we're a network, yeah.
Yeah, so in the future, we'd like for you to keep closer ties with us and let us know so that we can promote your stuff as well.
Oh yeah,
Get
for sure.
people to know
yeah,
when they're coming, when they're gonna be here.
Oh yeah. I know about your radio show for a minute, but it's a matter of the right situation for us actually, to come together. I guess this is it. So yeah, we're definitely gonna be stay connected, keep you posted on a regular.
Radio.ca, that's Rootz with a Z, reggaeradio.ca, in the Natural Room, live, with the Irritated Genie and Kofi.
Yes, sir. Alright. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's always here. We need people to use it, so
Oh,
spread
yeah.
the word, man, spread the word. And I've been telling Doctor here, when he travels around the globe and he runs into other speakers, to let them know there's a home for them here on Rootz Reggae Radio.
I hear you.
Yeah, we're here to get the message out. This is what we do.
Yes.
24 hours a day.
Yes.
Every day of the week.
Yeah, we gotta utilize these platforms because again, we have limited spaces for our people to speak about these types of issues. Unfortunately, they pulled the plug on us with a city space in regards to Saturday's lecture that we had planned. Unfortunately, some anonymous caller called the Parks and Rec and complained or made a comment saying that they don't know how we got a city space to do an event like this to preach hate. The words they used was male chauvinistic, but they don't even know if the sister Lori, who actually is responsible for helping Brother Irritated Genie come to the city. So that's an oxymoron in itself. We got sisters who are part of the movement who appreciate Brother Irritated Genie, many sisters. So
I
when
think
people
anybody
make comments
comes
like chauvinistic, I know where they're coming from.
Yeah, I think anybody that comes across him and takes the time to actually listen,
Oh, yeah.
appreciate and love him.
Exactly.
He has an energy to him, which is wonderful.
Yeah. Far from that. It's just one of those issues that we have to just, be mindful of. We're not going to get to the back and forth thing with our community. We like to have our conversations in a private area where we can build consensus and come to some agreement. We don't want to have it over the media and over Facebook, and we're not into, we want to speak directly to our brothers and sisters. Look, we need to build some consensus. And this is what it is. I think this platform here is the perfect place for that to happen. Yeah. So big Rootz Reggae Radio for giving us this opportunity to build with our community.
Thank you. Thank you for calling in, Kofi.
Oh yeah, you don't know Orlando. Take care.
All right, so that is Sankofa's today on Eglinton.
Yeah.
Be there.
Be there.
Enjoy your day, caller. Now, like what he was talking about, some of the struggle is having the venues to do these things, which goes back to what we were saying about putting a plan in place for us to have ownership so that we don't have to ask them no more.
Well, let me tell you kind of
And that's everywhere.
Yeah, the way that it happens, so we can understand. When you're in a confrontation, you can tell when you strike a nerve when somebody loses their cool. And we've had War on the Horizon. This organization's been around since 2009, and we've been very militant and everything like that. But we really hadn't struck a chord. We struck a chord in our people. They get the information. But the whites have largely ignored us for the most part. I mean, we've hit the news a few times, but for the most part, we've been ignored. However, when the straight black pride movement was created, we did not anticipate, at least myself I didn't, the group did. But for me, I was thinking One Horizon was more threatening. No. When we created a black family movement that could be attractive to everyday black people anywhere in the world, and it started with the word straight, and then black, and then pride, the resistance we have met from the homosexual black community, the LGBT white community, and the whites in general has been something that you won't see anybody getting the kind of resistance that our platform is getting now. What that means is, not only, here's the beautiful thing, we already have places that we have facilities. The question is, are black people going to be brave enough to say, I want to make some money? Because now that the white establishments are going to refuse us entry there, the only place we can go and have the dialogues that's going to save our communities with our own brothers and sisters. Which to me, instead of being a negative thing, it's a good thing. It means that we're going to stop giving our money to Europeans and meeting in their meeting places where they can shut us down. And we are forced to work together and build our own infrastructures to deal with the problems confronting our community. It forces us to begin to work together because they're saying, if you try to preserve the black family, we're going to destroy you. We're not going to give you access to speak to your own people, which means the only way we're going to be able to speak to our people, because we're going to save our community, is for us to do it in our own space and time.
I think boycott is important too, because I was on the Million Man March website, and I noticed that they're planning to boycott Christmas, saying that don't spend your money in none of those white stores and support none of that thing, because we're not about Christmas. It's a pagan holiday. Really? And then they will feel the might of our people in all the money that they lose and realize that they have to speak to us. We have an agenda.
The thing about boycotts, in order for them to be effective, to be 100% honest again, and this is what we've been missing. For over 100 years, we have not had that commonality of purpose where we all come to the same conclusion about the same thing at the same time. If we can agree right now to just start with one issue, we want to push this homosexuality and pedophilia, sexual abuse of black children out of our community, and galvanize around that, that single thing can be the thing that launches us with our unity. And on that basis, anybody that tries to confront us on that, that's what we boycott. We can organize our energy, we can get whatever kind of results that we want in doing that. So in closing, I'd like to say, I know we're wrapping up here. I want to thank brothers and sisters for listening to this conversation. I want to also tell you, if you want to get a copy of any of our DVDs, you can go to waronthehorizon.net. And if you go to waronthehorizon.net, you can you can purchase it and get an automatic download, so it comes right down to your computer. You get an email, you download it to your computer, and you can keep it forever. Keep it on your hard drive, whatever the case may be. And you get it instantly. Always check your junk mail, because you're going to get it right when it comes. Sometimes it goes to the junk mail, put it into your inbox. And we have at least 20 different topics dealing with the black community and preserving black culture on our website for you to go and check out. So that's waronthehorizon.net.
Yeah, and I'm encouraging people to go out and check it out. Like, often it's only $10, $20. You know, you spend more on that on bus fare nowadays, you know, going to and from. So in closing, I want to thank the Irritated Genie, Dr. Irritated Genie. You deserve the title. It's been wonderful. I want to thank Kofi, and I want to thank our team leader, Antoinette, because without her, none of this is possible.
That's right.
Big up Rhythms Inferno and Spontaneous Positivity, and big up I Stick with the Morning Show. Up, 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 entertainment.
Yeah, straight pride, man, woman, child. I'm talking about nation building, I'm talking about raising children. Family, the backbone of the nation, along with spirituality, culture, and education. Your Negro president supporting abomination. Get it? Abomination, this is an abrasion. The black family needs saving. Mental enslavement got you sexing like cavemen. Sisters that they gay friend, closer to playpen. Now you wonder why Jason is messing with gay men. To make our population double, gotta build some healthy couples. Black man and woman, bond strong as healthy muscles. Brothers find a hustle, love your woman, let her trust you. Some of y'all on the down low and feminine like Russell.